Okay, so decided I'd get on a little bit and kind of do the work we do to kind of make these little shepherds as well, and did decide to kind of put a little extra work along these lines because these lines are very important in the little carving we do and how we manage it and go about it and all, and it just makes a lot of ways just to kind of go about our work and make us see a little brightness in our day, what we manage very well and whatnot. I say these times in our lives we go through the times that we make the things just to look the way they need to be, how they're supposed to be, and oh, say, like, work is really going to be a little costly now and then. I always like to kind of think about these shepherds and how they were out watching their flocks, and angel came down to tell them the good news. The had Savior had been born. Think I'd get in a little coffin these days, and think these days it could just be little things that might even happen now and then just because of little allergy symptoms. That could be the thing that it really all the more can just come down to when we see a little brighter lights in our days. Oh, whatever we have, I say, there's just like little work we have. I'll need I say more, but that we have the way we work about how we do what we do. Oh, I say that there's just times when my life is just a whole another little story. Oh, blessed children, oh, these days. Blessed children, oh, these days, I say. Oh, God knows what's all it's going to be. Because, in our lives, we have our own dreams. We have dreams as to what is to come, as to what we're to do. Oh, God, I pray, Father, you know, as of each day, you tell us that you take care of us just like you do the sparrows. And there's been things where you all may have known over the years that I've done plenty of recordings of music and life in many ways that were just seldom in times known. And I've just got the little work to do this time around. Make it so we're seeing brighter times and brighter days. Oh, I say, good news comes to us. And I mean that these times of year, for the times of year we have coming up, sometimes I get thankful for the fact that the Salvation Army gets out and rings the bell, and for the fact that they are just out there reaching those who are like in the most need, I say, reaching out with the Salvation Army and bringing the band to playing the hymn. There were times when there was one year when in the fall I even volunteered for a while for the Salvation Army. Look back on those times and kind of miss those times just a little bit, and how good it always was when I was able to do that. There's been times I've looked back and missed it a little bit. sometimes even regret leaving them without any notice. But I'd say, of all things, for sure, that there's been a lot of ways I could definitely be able to reach out to so many more. I've volunteered for a while, but over years, I've even made certain donations to them. Always loved getting my stuff out and seeing people be able to use it. It was like in Christmas of 2000. Went up to the Kroger where this man was out there ringing the bell for the Salvation Army, and I mean, I'd say I was only 20 at the time. I was probably only a little over a year out of high school, and I had made these ornaments over the years that my original plan was to take them to some craft show to sell and over my high school years, but it was just something we never really, I'd say, got that much around to doing really, and so I ended up just making a little basket of them that I gave to the Salvation Army that year, and they did a wonderful, good little thing with it, and they gave them to the children in the daycare. I heard the children in the daycare really loved them. I even left them a little Christmas card in the basket with with a little note in it with my name and address, and they kind of, they sent me a little card in the mail with their logo on it, and I've kind of got it all framed up and everything. It was just this card they sent just to thank me for those little Christmas decorations, saying that the kids in the daycare really enjoyed them. I tell y'all that there's been times in my life I've loved kids before and had little ways to go about knowing it, and when it came down to it, there were ones that I even played with in church at times and different churches I've been to, and they were all just sweet as they could be, you know, and sometimes even the little black babies, to that matter, loved them a lot too, you know. They were all just little fun to play with times, and, there's just kind of the things we all can find out just little by little as we go. And sometimes I just think back on Rich Mullins and that little song he sang where he said, and the Salvation Army band is playing this hymn. I mean, there's been a lot of good to know in people and a lot of good to learn. I'd say there's probably been some souls that really meant a lot to us on earth, and all we know is that there gets to be a little political stuff here and there. Sometimes they might play a little radio when I volunteered at the Salvation Army, and whenever they did, sometimes what was on there, it just really had a good Christian theme to it, but there was just so much to discuss, and I asked one lady what she thought of something that was on that radio, and she said, I don't believe in any of that stuff. She said, I just believe in going to work and coming home. Not that she didn't believe in Jesus or salvation, but just little debates about how people are born and just things about lifestyles and orientations and things people kind of surrender just to kind of have a relationship with Christ. I say that it's just a little work nowadays. Kind of do it for our little selves to see how we do. Think about the days when I heard all the good things in life and knowing what all they meant and what all they said, there was so much to learn and to do. Kind of got to do a little thing where this little line at the top of the head was supposed to always come all the way right down to the shepherd's feet, so we kind of got to put another line in here as well, take it up to the next little level where it needs to go, and show people how little soldiers and shepherds and things we do make a lot of ways. I'll tell you all from some of these little patterns I took, there were other little things I made, and when I kind of made them and put them together, they came out as, just all the different things you could see. Sometimes I took these same patterns and sort of rearranged them to make little soldiers, and those little soldiers I made kind of went with that display of Nebuchadnezzar and the Hebrew children, and how that when the Hebrew children were thrown in the furnace, the flames did not harm them. But what happened instead was the soldiers that were throwing them in, the flames came out and burnt the soldiers, Nebuchadnezzar's soldiers, the ones who were throwing Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego into the fiery furnace. And as of a little work comes by this way, there's just one little way we're going to see how this goes. I say there's a place in here where I say we need to make half an inch. So kind of go a bit like 3/16 down the way and make it so we're just kind of drawing little lines to take it so we just like work a little ways about it and see how come we don't know what we do or what we know or what we say, till it all just comes down to what we need to know and what it needs to be, because this little life just has its ups and downs, its crazy little circles we face. Oh, the things in life we just don't know, I tell y'all. And as for this, there's one place where I guess we need to come along half an inch. Oh, this little place, and make it so it's going to be just about the place where it needs to be. Probably just 1/8 of an inch or 1/16. Something like that is all it is. Kinda, I'd say go like 1 inch down. Take it to the next little bitty level, and where we see a little light coming in, go 1 inch down and pray it all kinda takes it all just to where we see a little life in us, a little light in us, and bright times, bright times. Went back to my woodcarvers guild today and have a little thing I'll bring out and show in a little bit, but carved some nativity pieces from cypress knees. You may not have heard of cypress knees before, but I've told you all about them some time or two. The little things that grow close to cypress trees when cypress trees grow close to a swamp, and all the little things that come right off of them and down into the water they go, and then they grow up all moss covered, and you have to go down into the pond with a bunch of snakes and gators to get them, and when they come right back out you really have to wash all the moss off of them before you can use them or carve them. I've had people always ask me, how well do those cut with a knife? I mean, I have strong hands, so I can carve a cypress knee with a knife. But there's just a lot of people out there who could tell you they couldn't do like that, you know. They have to carve those with power, and most people who carve them do carve them with power. They don't really use them quite that way. I'd say as far as this goes, we got the little box for the hands, and then there's other little measurements we take along as well. Make it so we're going to have about 1/8 of an inch come in here soon and show a little happy adventure, I say. And it doesn't come out for all the better for us, but we see a little light in what we all do, and rightlessness is all the key, and blessed all the days that we all see a little light in us. And I tell y'all that there's times in our lives when we see little things that we do not know about, and that cause us little anxieties and stresses and pains and things. And you know, a lot of treatment I've taken in this world, the rest of y'all haven't. So that's what it all comes down to. We see little things in life that need to be taken care of, need to be done away, brighten our souls and lives. And I mean, I was in Pacini's last night, saw that girl again who's waited on me once or twice in there, and sweet as she is, always happy to see you sometimes. And if you ever are one of her regulars, she could be just as happy to see you sometimes. Think I'm going to go a little ways here, try to make these little marks come in between, make them so they're fast enough to work on, make them so they're bright as seen. I say, oh, little light kind of comes to brighten the lightest of the world and brighten our days. Can we all just get a little freaking amen? It's just all the days we work for ourselves, make little times in our lives when, and this is the little mark I put in from which we will carve the hands, and showing the little line we make here and there, just to tell you a lot we have to say and do. Just know that I always enjoy those who come on, those who hear my words, those who like to see what I do, and then again, just see how we come down to a brighter world. Take the first step and you will see that the future begins with you and me. I say, this little work is just making its way around, because we've got little ways to go about things. Sometimes steps have to just be taken one at a time. They can be a little hard to do sometimes when you're kind of a little bit less experienced now and then, but it's just how it's going to work, how it's going to be. I say that little times in our lives we just do what we know how to do. And I'd say we're going to look something up here, see the place where we kind of go as far as we do with Joseph, and with Mary we go through steps 17 through 54. We've already gotten up to step 49 on all these little carvings, and then we get up to where I think we need to get about, I'd say, on steps 52 and 53. Or, well, actually we've already drawn the lines for step 51, but haven't really carved it out yet. We got a little ways to go about this and take it to the where we need it to be. Oh, I say that this is just kind of like work in itself. We're going to come along, take the little next step we do, and to be honest, I say probably left my little glove in the box. I've got several of these gloves that I use, different kinds of ones, and I'd say for one thing, there's this little thing here, the thumb guard. I forgot my thumb protector as I was at Guild today starting to carve some things, and I'd say probably since we're getting an opportunity now that we're kind of away from everything, that I can bring those out, would prefer to kind of bring them on out and show them to you all. I mean, this right here, these are Mary and Joseph. To this nativity, I've carved out a cypress knees, and there's this one other extra piece I need to show. This is baby Jesus, but as you can see, I kind of made him in a way so the light from heaven kind of shines down on him. So that's how we got a little work to do as far as that goes, and a little time we get a little bit of enjoyment out of all we're working with, all we're doing. I tell you all that there's probably not much knowledge people have these days of things like they used to, and of all these things about the Bible and stuff, but I mean, you know, we know that it's always still the true and living Word of God. That's what counts, that's what matters, and we're just going to take it all a little ways here and there, brighten our days, and see, oh, the ways we can show work to all who want to see it, all who believe it, all who do it. Oh, I say little lines and little lives, and all the things we see about us, and all the things we can make of things, and how we just work about it. I tell you all that this is a time I get a little nerve now and then to just kind of take things as far as they need to go. And I'd say whenever it comes down to these little figures, I think we just might kind of chip away what is left of Mary here in this little area that needs to be carved out where I drew the lines in the last video. We got two figures of her and two of Joseph with which to do this, and kind of make it so it's kind of showing little lights, I say, and blessing us all different little ways, I say. Oh, bless children with this. Oh, work is all it does. And probably getting to the point where I'm getting experienced enough that I can kind of handle things a little better and differently than before. Finally get a chance to do away this last little step where even on the little back of the piece there's a little corner you chip off after you do this part, and it comes down to just, I'd say, being that little thing you need and being that little thing you do. And oh, I tell y'all that this is just the kind of work we see with us, blessing our days and nights. Oh, God Almighty, we know that every day is a lovely day, and today was a pretty cool day with the weather. It was nice weather out there, so we managed to get through it. But I know one thing is, if there's ever a day we have bad weather, it makes me think of one thing that my grandfather said. Never heard him say this when he was alive because I was never around him much. We lived in two totally different states, two totally different parts of the country, and miles away from each other. But after he passed away, I heard some of my aunts say on social media that one thing he'd often say was, every day is a good day, just some days the weather is bad. I tell y'all that we have all these times in our lives, we see how we do our works and our words and how it all just brightens us up to be everything we need to be, everything we come to be. Sometimes being a little different can be a little hard now and then. That's why you come up with phrases like, I choose charity over bitterness. So much in my life I could choose to be bitter about, but that's not what I choose. I kind of always try to choose to spread a little love and charity here and there, and that's kind of all the more reason I just use that quote. That quote has been on my stuff ever since 2004 and been the kind of thing I've done, put away on things, and I'd like to tell you a little bit more about it and about these doves I put that quote on. You probably saw me carve them before, and you probably saw me put the logo on when I did the videos, but a lady finally ordered them from me. I mailed them to her, and she's sending me a money order. She's kind of like the way my grandmother was. She's legally blind, but she can at least see with her glasses and things like that, and unable to do stuff like PayPal and Venmo, but she has her ways. She has her little money orders she can send, and this is just what one of the blessings is. Just kind of have my work out in places like that, like out in California where she is. This is surely a blessing to me, and I'd like to share it all the more with many more people, I say. And I thank you all now for coming on again to watch as I carve, to listen to what I have to say, and all the little updates in life I'd like to share with you all as we go on, and so much more I'll have to say in the next video. Thank you for watching.